Hello all you hellions and welcome back. I would like to take a quick moment to shout out to Halloran Illustrations. So last month I only did one Halloween video, which I'm kind of bummed and surprised about, being as Halloween is my favorite holiday, October my favorite month, all of that good stuff. So I only did one video because I was traveling, visiting family, friends. I was just really busy, so it is what it is. But the one video I did make in October was Halloween that I used to love as a child. And in one of them, I mentioned the cartoon Sleepy Hollow. I also mentioned how I remembered seeing a special where in between commercial breaks of this cartoon, there was a man with a pumpkin head who was talking about the story. And I said that I have no idea what it was called. I don't know how to stream it. I've been looking for it forever with no luck. I was really bummed about that. And then in the comments section, Halloran Illustrations, he told me not only the name of it, which is Disney's Halloween of Fame, but that it is to be streamed on YouTube. I was really excited. I watched it that night, and that's it. That was absolutely what I remembered as a child. So again, Halloran Illustrations, thank you. Okay, all of that aside, let's get to this week's video. The movies that I'm going to talk about, I want to let you know right now, are not for everybody. I can't think of anybody I would actually, in my life, recommend them to, but people in my life aren't really into horror, so the movies I'm going to talk about are Thankskilling 1 and 3. The opening scene I can't show you much of, whole lot of boobies. We have the actress Wanda Lust running through a park and is being chased by Turkey. This apparently takes place moments after the original Thanksgiving. We have our first view of Turkey, and he gives us an epic opening line.
Nice tits, bitch.
This scene was filmed in a public park without a permit. This movie is the story of 5 friends that are on Thanksgiving break. One of the friends has a father, Sheriff Dowd, who has an amazing mustache and is just broken up with in the most unusual way.
God damn, Cheryl! That coffee tastes like shit! What'd you do, take a dump in it?
As a matter of fact, I sure did. I want a fucking divorce.
Alright then.
We also have Oscar the Hermit and his dog Flash. Flash has just awakened Turkey after 505 years. This is the first of his many puns.
Oh, fuck. I'm pissed.
The 5 friends are on their way out of town for Thanksgiving celebration, and their Jeep dies. They then make the decision to camp on the side of the road because, as one of them says, they have tents and plenty of beer. The nerd of the group finds an old sign buried deep in the grass that says Crawford. In a panic, he goes running to his friends to explain to them that back in the day, the town of Crawford, there was an Indian man who they all believed was into black magic, and he was insulted by a pilgrim. So he vowed to take revenge on all white man and created this evil turkey to carry this out, killing everything that crosses its path. So this movie is not to be taken seriously, and I do not believe that they filmed it to be taken seriously. They've got a lot of practical effects, which I absolutely love. I will take bad practical effects over CGI any day. The turkey, you can tell that they just kind of built it with the best that they had. Apparently, they only had about $300 for the effects of this movie, which again, it shows, but at the same time, they had a lot of fun. You could tell they just were very creative in making these characters. There's a little bit of animation. There's a really funny, kooky song about best friends after one of them had just been killed by Turkey.
Billy, Billy, Billy.
They are very creative because in one scene, they're going to go into a teepee, and on the outside of the teepee where you see it, it looks super tiny. And then when they walk through it, you can tell it's a larger tent that they've walked into and not this tiny teepee. It's things like that that just make this a lot of fun. There's interesting deaths. There's also interesting scenes with Turkey himself, like when he goes to see Sheriff Dowd. They have a dinner together and the sheriff doesn't realize that he is in fact a turkey.
But it was nice today, huh?
Did you just say fucking?
What do you mean? Is that supposed to mean that midgets can't cuss?
I wasn't worried about the size of the fuck. I was worried about the age of the fuck. How old are you?
510 years old.
Fuck it then, I guess you can say.
Turkey gets picked up when he's hitchhiking on the side of the road. I mean, there's just a lot of fun to be had with this movie. I can't say that I cared about the characters because, again, they didn't really delve deeply into who they are, but this movie doesn't have to. These people were here to be goofy, to be scared, to be killed off. So the characters, although not incredibly developed, they served a purpose and they served it well. This movie feels like a group of friends that just got together and said, hey, I think I'm going to make a horror movie today, and then they did it. So recommended? No, I wouldn't say I recommend it. I would say more that this is a guilty pleasure and I wanted to talk about it. So really quick, with both of these movies, there are trigger warnings. Not overly bad, but they're definitely there. So if you're sensitive to certain triggers, just go ahead and read up on it and see what's in it. When we get to the end of the movie, it says underneath that this movie is to be continued in space. And they said that very jokingly. They actually had no plans on making a sequel. So here we go to Thankskilling number 3. If you've noticed that I skipped Thanksgiving number 2, that is because that is actually the premise of this third movie. So in the movie, we see that Thankskilling 2 has been made, and it is said to be the worst movie ever made. And anybody who watches it is actually under the control of Turkey, and they die in horrible ways. So every copy, except one, has been gathered and burned or destroyed in some way. Now, because this movie was filmed entirely in space, that movie also has to be destroyed in space. Honestly, I love that that's how they have the second movie, is that they didn't create it, but it exists in this movie and has to be destroyed. I don't know, I just thought that was really clever. So very soon after this opening scene where all of the copies of Thankskilling 2 were destroyed, we get to see what Turkey was up to. They film it kind of like he's a part of a sitcom. We see that he is married and that he has a young son. Here's where another trigger warning might come out for people that are sensitive to this kind of thing. It was very clever the way that they had him like in a sitcom. I absolutely loved it. And you can tell that they actually had more money to put toward special effects. And come to find out, apparently they earned over $100,000 from Kickstart. I thought that was pretty cool. So Turkey finds out that all of the copies of his movie were destroyed except one, and he goes out to find that movie. That way he can play it for a wide audience to be able to do what it was intended to do, kill all of these people. Now for the other characters of this movie. Now, to explain this movie is going to be very difficult because you can tell that they just went buck wild with this movie. You have a bunch of scenes that are more on the psychedelic side. You could tell that they were trying to make it trippy. They've got more comedy to it. They have puppets, they have animation, they have musical scores. I mean, they just went crazy with this movie, and it was just such a fun movie to watch. We have our main character, Yomi, who has lost her mind and is trying to find it. She runs into a bag of trash, which is also a puppet. There's an animated cat that she talks to about trying to find her mind. And then Yomi meets Uncle Donnie. He is the inventor of the Pluckmaster 3000, and he's trying to put together a theme park titled Thanksgiving Land. He lives with his brother and his mother, grandmother, I can't really remember what she was, but she's this foul-mouthed, rapping granny. She is so much fun. I think she's just hilarious. I would love to know her in real life. And then we have aliens that came down from space wanting to destroy this final copy of this movie. We have Muff, who's We have Muff, who reminds me kind of like a robotic being. And then we have his little sidekick, Rhonda the Worm, with this cute little mustache. Rhonda the Worm is actually my favorite character out of all of this. He is hilarious. We also have a ton more of Turkey's puns throughout this movie. While searching for Yomi's mind, the group travels to the gates of the Feather World. This is where they meet a wise turkey that's a part of the Weathering. This is a group that was charged with keeping Turkey in control. They also travel down to Turkey Hell. When I tell you the amazing job that they did putting Turkey Hell together, just all the visuals, and it's amazing. You can tell they just really went all out with this movie. There's also a little shout out to Evil Dead. When Turkey is replacing his member with a chainsaw, as it clicks into place, he turns to the camera and says, "Gravy," just like Ash did in the movie. It was hilarious. So if you're ever in the mood to watch a Thanksgiving horror movie that's just not like your usual movies, it's definitely different. It's out there. It's very gory. It's got some great deaths. It has a very funny, wild storyline. I mean, this is a movie that I truly believe a lot of you out there would actually enjoy if you give it a chance and know that it is goofy as shit, but a good time. Anyway, I would recommend it to you, whoever likes. And another thing is you would have to like comedic horror to really enjoy this movie, I think. So if that is you, definitely give it a shot. It is definitely worth a watch. I would give it probably 3.5 coffins. I enjoyed it that much, and it is a movie that I will be watching every November. Thank you to everybody who has watched this video. If you enjoyed it, please think about subscribing. And as always, leave me a comment if you like talking about horror. We don't even need to talk about this movie necessarily. Just leave a comment if you so desire. All right, thank you everybody, and we'll see you next time.